Exotics. You either know exactly what I'm about to talk about, or have no clue, but today we're talking about the history of exotic armor sets of hypixel skyblock. But what are exotics? For the purposes of this video, an exotic armor set is one that looks different through the use of vanilla dyes than regularly intended, like Black Storm or Yellow Shark scale. But to fully understand their histories, let's go back in time to hypixel skyblock's release, where exotics weren't actually exotics. Let me explain. You see, back in hypixel skyblock's early days, there was a small bug / somewhat intended feature where skyblock items could interact with vanilla items in the crafting table. This meant you were able to dye any armor piece any different color with the various dyes in the inventory crafting table. But because anyone can do it, this meant that armor sets that weren't in their original colors actually lost value, up to 5 to 10% according to some sources. That was all well and good until the release of 0.7.4. Up until now, there were many common scams where people would get the superior dragon helmet and then dye the rest of another armor set a yellowish color like superior normally is, then sell it for much higher than it's actually worth. Real quick, if you guys are enjoying, a sub would be really nice, thank you. Anyway, hypixel didn't like this scam, so on November 11th of 2019, they patched it, meaning that you can no longer create special dyed armor sets in the vanilla crafting menu. So why did exotics shoot up in price? No one wanted them before, remember? Well, the content drought was real. Dungeons were still in development, Kuja or the Crimson Owls didn't exist. It was kinda boring. So players found ways to entertain themselves as opposed to getting foraging 50 by spending ludicrous amounts of money on collecting these special armor sets with that tiny hit of dopamine when hearing that trade sound effect. But if the dye glitch was patched before Dungeons came out, how did we get the Black Storm sets we see today in Refraction's videos? Well, there is another dye bug. During the first day Floor 7 was released, as people managed to obtain the first sets of Wither armor, they noticed a small error. When upgraded to one of the 4 special armor sets, the new armor would actually keep its original black Wither armor color. Only 3 sets were able to be created before the bugs were patched, meaning that these sets not only looked amazing, but were useful, catching the eye of hypixel skyblock YouTuber Refraction, popularizing the collection of exotics and bringing us to a new era. You see, as exotics became more mainstream and popular, they became a lot more expensive, with the value of these exotic museums skyrocketing and new communities like the Exotic Cafe Discord exploding in popularity. This caused players to spend ludicrous amounts of coin on exotic armor sets to show up to their friends and guilds, until it all came crashing down. The day was March 1st, 2022. A normal Saturday for most. The birds were chirping, the normal people were touching grass, but little did anyone know that this would be the day that everything came crashing down. 0.12.3 came out, adding Master Mode's Floor 7, a few dungeon quality of life things, but one dreaded change that ruined the exotic community. Custom dyes. These dyes were not easy to obtain, but you could apply them to your armor set, rendering exotics pretty much useless. But these dyes were a 1 in 20 million drop, or costing 250,000 bits for the pure white black. Unfortunately, this still did ruin exotics forever, causing the entire value market to drop, and skyblock's previously richest and well-known collectors ruined forever. People lost billions. A lot of the endgame collector community just decided to quit after their losses. The end was near. These exotics worth so much that they are now are almost worth nothing. I mean, a lot of them are still pretty expensive, but they don't have the personal value the old exotics had. But yeah, that's kind of where we are today. Nothing has really changed since then. That's it for the video. Goodbye.